that very soon we will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem.
The table of showbread is ready. The menorah is ready. All of the golden pieces are ready. The third temple is ready.
Our job to bring and to build the third temple.
They're also planning to slaughter 5 red cows. That paves the way for the building of the third temple, replacing the Dome of the.
The moment the high priest stands in Israel, prepared, consecrated, something ancient begins. For centuries, the prophecy of Daniel lay sealed. Now, a priest is ready. And from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, there shall be 1,290 days. That phrase, from the time, echoes again today. The temple service gears are turning. The priest is poised, and prophecy may be moving from promise to performance. Are you ready for what comes next? The moment the high priest dons the sacred garments, the world may not notice, but heaven does. For centuries, Daniel's prophecy spoke of a time when Israel's priesthood would signal the final act in God's divine timeline. Daniel 12:11 warns, "And from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, there shall be 1,290 days." In modern Israel, a man stands ready, trained in the rituals, preparing for service that has not been performed for millennia. Scientists can study the garments, historians can trace the lineage, yet only faith sees the weight of the moment. The ritual is more than ceremony. It is a bridge between history and prophecy. Archaeologists confirm that some temple practices can be reconstructed based on ancient records, yet the spiritual significance transcends archaeology. Every step, every incense offering, every lifted hand echoes the voices of Daniel, Zechariah, and the Psalms. As this high priest prepares, we're reminded that God's timing is precise. The world may be distracted by politics, wars, and earthquakes, yet the prophecy moves forward. The sacred countdown has begun. The high priest's readiness is not just tradition, it may be the key that signals the opening of the prophetic timeline Daniel described. Are we witnessing the convergence of heaven's plan with earthly events? Only time and scripture will reveal. Daniel's prophecies speak of precise timelines, from the rise of kingdoms to the final tribulation. In 2025, global events align with ancient predictions: unrest in the Middle East, renewed interest in the temple, and political shifts surrounding Jerusalem. Modern Israel has witnessed decades of preparation, priests being trained, ritual vessels restored, and sacred texts studied. Archaeologists recently uncovered remnants of ancient incense altars, confirming historical accuracy of the temple rituals. Daniel 9:27 says, "He shall make a strong covenant for 1 week. In the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the offering to cease." The prophetic language may describe events centuries before their fulfillment, but today, the pieces are moving into place. For believers, the timeline is more than history. It is a warning and a call to watchfulness. When the priest stands ready, it is as if a divine clock begins ticking. Scientists measure tectonic plates and satellite imagery, but Scripture measures the pulse of God's plan. This is not speculation. The signs are visible, the players are in position, and the prophecy waits to unfold. The daily sacrifice may be poised to resume or to be interrupted. The world is on the edge of history and destiny colliding. The high priest today trains as if history itself depends on him, because it does. Every ritual, every precise gesture has been preserved for thousands of years. The garments, the incense, and the ceremonial purity all reflect a divine order established by God. Exodus 28 verse 2 commands, "Make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty." These instructions are not symbolic, they are prophetic. When the priest stands in Jerusalem, performing what has been unseen for millennia, It is as if the words of Scripture leap into reality. Modern scholars confirm the lineage of Kohanim, priests, remains unbroken. DNA studies and genealogical records trace their ancestry to Aaron, fulfilling God's promise in Numbers 25, verse 13. The Lord has honored his priesthood forever. The weight of history presses upon the shoulders of this priest, yet his readiness is not merely physical, it is spiritual. Each breath, each step, each incense offering echoes a covenant that stretches from Sinai to the present, and possibly into the final events of the end times. End-time prophecy is not limited to religious ritual. It intersects with global politics. Daniel foretold kingdoms rising and falling, alliances forming, and conflicts engulfing nations. Today, Jerusalem stands at the epicenter of geopolitical tensions. As Israel rebuilds interest in temple practices, international pressure and diplomatic maneuvering intensify. Daniel 11:44 warns, "But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him." Scholars note correlations with current world events and the movement of global powers. Faithful watchers recognize the alignment of politics and prophecy. The priest's readiness may signal the spiritual start, but the political and military movements form the backdrop, setting the stage for the events Daniel predicted centuries ago. This convergence of ritual and world affairs underscores the urgency. History is no longer distant, it is unfolding before our eyes. Beyond politics and ritual lies the heart of prophecy, spiritual awakening. The high priest's readiness reflects Israel's covenantal calling and humanity's opportunity for redemption. Daniel 12:1 declares, "At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who protects your people." The priest's service is a physical enactment of this spiritual protection. His actions invite believers to watch, pray, and prepare. Even in scientific observation, the spiritual dimension cannot be quantified. Every ritual evokes divine interaction. Every offering becomes a reminder that God's timeline is precise and unstoppable. For viewers, the priest is more than a man. He is a living signal that the end-time prophecy is no longer theoretical. Faith and reality intersect, calling believers to vigilance, prayer, and discernment. The high priest's standing is more than symbolic. It may be the moment the prophetic clock starts. Daniel 12:11 specifies a period of 1290 days tied to the cessation and resumption of sacrifice. Every preparation step, the garments, the prayers, the offerings, marks the divine schedule. For millennia, scholars debated the timing. Now modern Israel is positioning the pieces precisely as Scripture outlined. The countdown is not speculation. It is observable in rituals, prophetic alignment, and historical precedent. The priest is the pivot. His actions are a signal to heaven and earth that Daniel's words are moving toward fulfillment. Believers are called to watch and pray. This is not mere history. It is prophecy coming alive. As the high priest ascends, the world may not immediately notice, but Scripture does. Daniel's end-time prophecy is a call to vigilance, to recognize signs, prepare spiritually, and align hearts with God's plan. Matthew 24:42 warns, "Watch therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming." Every modern event, from celestial phenomena to political shifts, is a backdrop for spiritual readiness. The priest's readiness is both a message and a mirror. It reflects ancient prophecy while urging global believers to prepare. The convergence of ritual, scripture, and observable events invites each of us to take our place in God's unfolding plan. History and prophecy are converging. The end-time stage is set. And the question remains, are you ready to watch, pray, and witness the fulfillment of Daniel's vision?
Daniel's end-time prophecy was never meant to be abstract. It was meant to unfold before human eyes. And now, as Israel's high priest prepares, we may be witnessing the precise moment when Scripture moves from the page into reality. Daniel 12:1 warns, "At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who protects your people. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation." Modern headlines echo with conflicts, unrest, and geopolitical tension that mirror these ancient warnings. But this priest's readiness signals something deeper, an intersection of spiritual and temporal events that the world cannot ignore. His preparation is meticulous: ritual purity, sacred garments, and centuries-old ceremonial steps. Archaeologists confirm the historical accuracy of these procedures, yet the spiritual weight far exceeds the physical acts. The priest's presence is a living symbol of covenant, prophecy, and divine timing. Even science cannot fully capture the magnitude. Satellite imagery, climate anomalies, and celestial events coincide with this unfolding prophetic timeline, illustrating that Daniel's visions are not confined to mystical speculation. They are interacting with the physical world. This convergence is a clarion call. Scripture is alive, history is moving, and prophecy is no longer dormant. Believers across the globe are called to observe, pray, and prepare their hearts. Because when the priest stands, the stage is set, the countdown begins, and the unseen forces of heaven stir into motion. The prophecy that Daniel wrote centuries ago is now breathing through the streets of Jerusalem, and the question rises above politics, science, and speculation. Will humanity recognize the moment when heaven touches earth? The priest has taken his position. The sacred vessels are ready. The incense rises, carrying the prayers of generations. Daniel's prophecy signals that the countdown is now unmistakable. 1,290 days, a time of tribulation, a sequence foretold by God Himself. Yet prophecy is never only about observation, it demands response. Matthew 25:13 reminds us, "Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." Every global event, every celestial sign, and every act of the high priest serves as both confirmation and warning. The end-time stage is set, and each heart is called to readiness. This is more than ritual. It is a divine invitation. As Daniel's visions collide with modern reality, we see a world awakening to the eternal. The priest stands as a signal, but we must also stand in faith, prayer, and discernment. The heavens and the earth are converging on a single truth. God's plan is precise, His timing flawless, and His word unstoppable. The events unfolding in Jerusalem are not isolated. They are part of a divine orchestration connecting Scripture, history, and the global stage. So as you witness this moment with your eyes and your spirit, ask yourself, am I prepared? Am I watching, praying, and aligning my life with the truth that is moving through history? Because soon, the prophecy that Daniel wrote will no longer be a distant warning. It will be fulfilled before every generation. The high priest is ready. The stage is set. And the question remains, are you ready to stand with God in this defining hour?